Mitch will be on the play here for game one. Really can push that to his advantage.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Plus, I mean, Mitch has just been on point this weekend. I mean, as we just saw from the match we just watched on camera, he is in it to win it. But I mean, everything's been working out the way that Hunsaker planned when he showed up with a Naya hexproof deck.
Yeah, it looks like it's been favorable matchups across the board in the quarterfinals. Got paired against Gabe Carlton Barnes playing mono black aggro. Seemed like a pretty favorable matchup. He was able to take that one down 2-0. In the previous matchup against Junk Midrange, Jesse Harper able to take that one down 2-0 as well. So hasn't lost a game here in the elimination rounds. We'll see if Mitch will be the first one to put a blemish on that record.
A big part of the advantage to Mono Blue in this matchup is that part of what you're paying for with the Naya hexproof deck is a bunch of cards that blank your opponent's removal, and Mono Blue doesn't really have a lot of removal to blank, so you're not really getting, you know, you just end up with some overcosted creatures. You end up with some 2/1s for 2 and some 3/3s for 3.
Gross with just an island to start things off. A Hunsaker has a stomping ground. Going to go down to 18. Plays a Glade Cover Scout.
1/1s for 1.
And there is a Frostborn Weird, quite the blocker in the way here. There's Temple of Plenty for Hunsaker. Top card's going to go straight to the bottom. We'll see if he has another play. He does not, so we'll just pass the turn back over to Gross. Gross just looking to curve out, get a lot of devotion out there, and capitalize on it. And it looks like Frostborn is going to come into the red zone here. So an attack here for simply 1 is going to put Hunsaker down to 17. This will be a Mutavault. Actually going to be an island, excuse me. And now there's a Thassa before passing the turn back.
Yeah, the Thassa means that Mitch is threatening to take a real aggressive stance next turn. You know, he's got a lot of different creatures he can play next turn that bring his devotion up to 5. Robert, still looking to figure out what is the optimal way to assemble a giant monster of some sort. It looks like he may have Madcap skills and Unflinching Courage. So it is this Glade Cover Scout that he is going to be trying to ride.
There is your Madcap skills. This will be an attack here for 4. Gross is going to go down to 16. The race is certainly on now. And Gross will scry with the God of the Sea. That card's going to go to the bottom. And now it's time to take a draw. It's a copy of Night Veil Spectre. That will provide plenty of devotion here for Thassa. You have to tread a little bit lightly against this deck.
Yeah, I mean, Unflinching Courage makes racing very, very, very difficult.
There's a Mutavault. There's also a Nykthos hiding out over there. And Gross's hand has the ability to produce a lot of mana, not on this turn, but the next one. Looks like Gross is giving some serious consideration on deploying that Nykthos this turn, and he will. This is 3 mana. That'll allow him to cast a Night Veil Spectre. Of course, activating Nykthos, there's 3 blue, so we can do that while also keeping up a rapid hybridization.
Yeah, the nice thing about this play is that Robert will think that the Unflinching Courage is a trump, and when rapid hybridization gets played on Mitch's own Thassa, he'll get a 3/3 for free. Thassa won't die because it's indestructible, and then the 3/3 and the Night Veil Spectre can team up to kill the Glade Cover Scout.
So you do see the attack here.
Yeah, this is just an excellent play by Mitch.
I have to agree. Rapid hybridization on the Thassa will make a 3/3 Frog Lizard, and now it is time to double block. Some life will be gained and some creatures will die, but for Mitch, he accomplished exactly what he wanted to, which is to get that large creature off of the table.
I mean, that was absolutely fantastic, and he even has a fair bit of devotion left. You know, that Tiebinder Mage in his hand means that Thassa can continue to attack unimpeded.
A bind of Thassa is pretty good too.
Oh my God, absolutely. Yeah, I think Mitch is right about to run away with it.
He actually has the ability to cast, I think, both spells this turn if he wants to. He's just going to deploy the bind right now. Attack here for 5, 6. No pumps, so we'll just be 6. Take a draw and another one. Rapid hybridization is the last card, so maybe that's why he left that island up. Hunsaker's in some real trouble now. Really well played game here from Gross. Hunsaker's going to tap some mana. That'll be a copy of Witchstalker.
Yeah, but it's going to be hell trying to come back here.
And in response to that, he's going to cast a rapid hybridization on the Thassa. That's going to be the ability to present a lethal attack right now. Just with how much blue mana he is out there, I believe he can make everything unblockable and probably pump for enough. That'd be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. especially in combination with Nykthos. Nykthos can generate 5 mana. We'll see if he has exactly enough to get the job done here as he does draw an island. So Nykthos slides over here. That'll be 5 blue. So he's going to make some creatures unblockable. 5, 6, 7, 8. Using mana, that's 9. Yeah, it looks like he does have exactly enough.
11.
Yep. Well, everything worked out just fine there for Mitch Gross. Does win game number 1 with Mono Blue Devotion over Robert Hunsaker, playing Naya Hexproof. And we will look at the sideboards here in just a moment, but it is trivia time yet again, and I do have a full year question if you got the rules one more time.
Yeah, absolutely. So my good friend Cedric here is going to ask a trivia question. It has only one right answer, although we may be generous in our interpretation of that one right answer. If you tweet at SCG Live, make sure you're following SCG Live to be able to get any prizes if you win. Use hashtag SCG Premium. Let us know the answer to this trivia question. You can win a year of premium, and just on the freezies, it's basically us giving away premium.
Take it
at our discretion.
We want you to have
Twitch's.
No.
And one person who gets the answer right will randomly be selected to get paid.
Very simply, next week in the Open Series is headed somewhere. The question is, what city will Patrick Sullivan and I be in next weekend? Name that city. We'll accept any spelling, basically.
Any spelling?
Basically.
How about spell it like I don't know, somewhere between Miami and Moscow.
Yeah, that's fine. That'll work. What city will we be in on the Open Series next weekend? Hashtag the answer, hashtag SCG Premium. Make sure you're following at SCG Live, and we'll announce the winner at the conclusion of our last match of the Standard Open between Mitch Gross and Robert Hunsaker. Gross up a game here with Mono Blue. As we do head back to the match, we'll take a look at the sideboards here. You know the Skylashers are coming in on Hunsaker's side. There's also 2 Keening Apparitions, a Voice of Resurgence, a Chain of the Rocks, 2 copies of Gift of Orzhova, a Boon Satyr, 2 Johnny's Presence, a Boros Charm, and 2 Mizium Mortars. Anything else you like over there?
Anything else besides those 15?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I like the Mizium Mortars. I like the Skylasher, and I actually I don't hate the Keening Apparition, but that might be diluting things too much. The thing is, I don't think you need as many hexproof creatures. You can actually afford to trim some of the random dudes, and just power up your Skylashers, power up your Keening Apparition. But I think you want to have stuff like Chain to the Rocks, Mizium Mortars, Gift of Orzhova, super important. So I actually think we're going to see Robert sideboard a lot of cards,
On Gross's side, there's a Claustrophobia, 3 Domestication, a Cyclonic Rift, a Dispel, a Dissolve, 2 Gainsay, 2 Negate, a Biden of Thassa, 2 Jace Memory Adept, and a Mizium Skin. Anything in particular you like there for Mitch?
No, I mean, I like the 1 Cyclonic Rift, definitely, because tactically you're going to get into situations where the card's just a total blowout. But other than that, I think it's just a question of if he has cards in his main deck that he wants to trim that aren't as impressive. Like he might not want Rapid Hybridization. The nice thing about Rapid Hybridization is that it's a great answer to Skylasher, which both players have access to their opponent's deck list, so he knows his opponent's going to be Skylashering him. But the problem is that Skylasher will often have the benefit of some sort of an aura, some sort of a pump spell. So Rapid Hybridization is a little bit unreliable in that area. Still, something like Negate might be an option, or it might be that he just wants it on the play. I think the main thing, though, I don't think he gains a lot. I think he might want the Bident just because Bident is, totally reasonable against people that have no removal. But even that's a little bit slow, and what he really needs to do is just not lose to a life-linked big threat.
Don't forget, everybody, after this match is over, we will, of course, do our winner's interview with our champion. Take a short little break, replay our elimination rounds, and then all the legacy action you can handle here from Portland. We've got players filing in. We'll see how many rounds we do have. Likely a 9-round tournament this afternoon. Last week we saw Burn get the job done. The week prior we saw Death in Taxes hoist the trophy. It feels like it's time for maybe one of those Delver decks that everybody hates to get back on its winning ways.
Yeah, I think this week, we're going to be seeing some Bug, some Stoneblade.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Some long ground out affairs. I know
Joe Sneak and Show.
Do we know Jerry's playing that? Yeah, big secret. Big secret. I ruined the fun. Okay, I'm also going to ruin something. Joe Lissette's playing Miracles. I'm just ruining everything this weekend. Sorry,
That's crazy.
man. I'm sorry. I am the fun police. Looks like Mitch is going to take a mulligan down to 6 here. Robert, happy
I
with
told
his
you,
hand.
Mitch wants to keep it interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd go to 6 cards.
No, I don't need all 7. It's fine.
Mono blue not super wanting to mulligan, but this is not the matchup where it is most punishing by any means.
Yeah, I think both decks are perfectly fine taking a mulligan. Or I don't want to say or 2 in this matchup, but mulligan's not that big of a deal. You can probably mulligan pretty aggressively to find some better hands. It is kind of just to curve it out, beat down a fair. Curious to see, there's a pretty healthy legacy scene in Seattle that I used to play in before I did a lot of these shows. And I wonder if those players are going to come down here this weekend. There's a lot of sweet legacy like cash tournaments and tournaments for Lotuses and stuff up there. So I'm hoping some of those guys can come down and do battle. I always love to watch. I like to watch the locals play Legacy, who I used to battle with when I first moved to Seattle. I know Rabbit's gonna be here too. I don't know what he's playing. He's kind of dabbled around in Legacy quite a bit.
My guess is he's just playing with like 4 Tabernacle of Pendril Veils, 4 The Abysses. Wait, that's not even legal, is it? Yeah, The Abyss is legal.
The Abyss is legal.
Yeah, because Moat is legal.
Yeah.
Yeah, The Abyss that's a nice one. When are we going to bring The Abyss back?
Hopefully soon. Cloudman and Raptor going to start things off here for Gross.
Man, The Abyss would be so strong in Standard.
I prefer The Abyss. Personally. But your mileage may vary. And Bazaar Tower Archer is going to join the party here. Gross has a 2-mana spell. You see the Rapid Hybridization. There's a Tidebinder Mage. Of course, not going to be able to tap down the Hexproof creature. Going to evolve the Raptor. And coming across here for 1 is the Tower Archer. Is just 2-1 with reach. Hunsaker going to quickly play a Sacred Foundry untapped. You have to imagine we're going to see a couple of enchantments now. There is an Ethereal Armor. That'll turn that into a 3-2. And now it's going to get even bigger. +4 attack from the Madcap skills. That's going to make this a 7-power attacker.
Definitely. And one that's very difficult to block.
Yep. Then having first strike. This is going to be a rough road ahead here for Gross. And this is exactly how Naya Hexproof wants things to go. A racing situation that does favor them, and your answers, well, you don't have any. And blue has very few. Cyclonic Rip seems to be the big card here for Gross in this matchup. If he can find one of his 2 after sideboard.
Yeah, I mean, not having access to a null like some of the other blue decks is definitely going to hurt him.
So Gross going to think some things through right now. Going to play an island. This will be a Nightveil Spectre. That'll evolve the Raptor. Going to attack here for 4. Going to put Hunsaker down to 11. So it's certainly a racing situation here. Hunsaker will take a draw here. If you're Gross, you're just hoping that there's no Unflinching Courage or more creature buffing. That is a Temple of Plane. Top card's going to go to the bottom. See if maybe there's an Ajani or a Boros Charm hiding out over there. You do see a copy of Selesnya Charm right now in Hunsaker's hand. This will be another attack for 7. Going to put Gross down to 6. You see his hand, 2 copies of Rapid Hybridization. It's not a bad card right now. Not the best, though.
Hunsaker showing the speed of this Naya Hexproof deck. Mitch really needs a Master of Waves to produce some extra chump blockers.
Yeah, I mean, Master would be pretty good right now. This is going to be 3 mana being tapped. Let's see what Hunsaker's going to go for. It's just going to be a Witch Stalker. Okay. So Gross is going to untap. Master would be one heck of a draw if he can find it. Cyclonic Roof would still be pretty good too. Nightveil Spectre, not all that great right now. And now Gross is going to go into the proverbial tank, try to figure out exactly what he can do. He's got 6 powers of attackers here, but he's facing a lethal attack next turn, so he's going to have to figure out what's possible in this situation.
I mean, he's really not in that bad of a spot, though, because the Nightveil Spectre and the Cloudfin Raptor are threatening 4 damage. And then if he has another blocker, the Tidebinder Mage and his other blocker can double block the Archer, and then he can Rapid Hybridize one of the 2 chump blockers and counterswing for 7, you know? At least he's got a way to beat the board, assuming he has a creature in his hand.
Spectre will take an Ethereal Armor. That one may be rather important. Gross has not played a land yet this turn. You see his hand. He's got a couple islands, a Nightveil Spectre, and 2 copies of Rapid Hybridization.
Yeah, I mean, just having having a way to actually present two blockers to hold off that madcap skills threat with rapid hybridization to actually increase his damage.
Spectre gonna come down. Well, this is clearly a spell. Let's see which one it's gonna be. It looks like a Chain to the Rocks potentially.
Yep.
Hunsaker gonna slow down a little bit here. The big card here for Robert is the Celestial Charm in the hand, being able to give trample. See how he wants to use that card, but looks like he's considering casting Chain of the Rocks right now. We did see last game the power of rapid hybridization. I think that Robert may be respecting that right now. And he's just gonna attack with both creatures right away first. Use the Chain after combat in case the race does not favor him.
I mean, Celestia Charm giving trample would be absolutely devastating.
Yeah, I think that might be the problem. That might be too difficult to overcome here for Gross.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, assuming that we end up in the straightforward two creatures blocking Hunsaker's archer, then the moment that archer becomes a 9-power trampler, it's going to be all she wrote.
There's your double block. You saw Hunsaker separate his lands. He knows exactly what he wants to do. And there is your 2 mana. This looks to be your Celestial Charm.
This needs to be exactly Dispel from Mitch Gross, which, from the looks of it, he does not have. Just two rapid hybridizations, meaning that we're going to game 3.
Yep. Robert Hunsaker is going to win game number 2 here over Mitch Gross. Naya Hexproof and Mono Blue Devotion are tied up now. It was definitely a close game between the two players, and now we'll watch a third and final one to see who will win the trophy and qualify for the Invitational, of course, and get some points towards the Open Series between Gross and Hunsaker. Looks like both players may be going back to the drawing board here very quickly. Looks like Hunsaker may be happy with his configuration. Again, the games are going to be, it feels like the games are just going to be one-sided, kind of, combo-esque matchups here. Mono Blue just wants to do its thing and has a minor interaction. Hexproof doesn't really want to interact at all. The only interaction it really wants to play is a card like Celestial Charm to finish things off, or Boros Charm to get something double strike. So.
Well, I mean, even this one, as much as, Hunsaker was doing something super powerful, Mitch was very, very close. He did take a mulligan and still ended up in a spot where if Hunsaker had didn't have that Celestia Charm, he could have won the race. It was it's definitely an exciting matchup that very much favors whoever's on the play.
Yeah.
And I think Mitch is going to make a big comeback in game 3.
I mean, this matchup may be as simple as you mentioned as just being on the play or the draw.
And so many of Mono Blue's matchups are that way.
Yeah. It very well just could be, hey, I'm the 5 seed, so that's why I won the match in the tournament. I mean, don't get me wrong, Hunsaker's draw in game 1 was quite good.
Oh, yeah.
With Unflinching Courage and friends.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, both of these decks have the ability to present some pretty unbeatable boards, and both players have access to a couple of tricks, a couple of ways to try to, to steal some games in that are on the line. And that's really what it's about. I mean, whoever's on the play, generally things are going to favor them. Whoever does the much more powerful thing can overcome that. Where it gets really exciting is the nitty-gritty, the little situations where tactically somebody tries to buy themselves an extra turn, buy themselves a couple extra outs, try to, prevent a couple extra damage somewhere. The little tricks, things like Celestia Charm, Boros Charm, Rapid Hybridization, Cyclonic Rift. The little tricks.
Well, game number 3 is where we will be headed. It's been a fun tournament thus far. We've seen a healthy diversity of things from our players. Hey, we started off the tournament with Jerry playing Jund Monsters. We saw Joe Lissette, of course, playing Blue-White Control. We've seen a lot more junk mid-range than expected. Jesse Harper making the top 4 with that deck. But at the end of the day, it's been a mono-black and mono-blue field. 3 mono-black Devotion decks making top 8, 2 mono-blue Devotion decks making top 8 as well. And, of course, we do have Naya Hexproof here in the finals. And Brian DeMars has been a big champion of that deck for some time, getting 15th place at Grand Prix Chicago. Haven't really seen that deck very much on the Open Series. But Mono Blue Devotion is something we've seen quite a bit of. Russ Merriam winning with that deck in Providence. Saw a couple copies of that deck make the top 8 at Grand Prix Chicago. And now we'll see if Mitch Gross can put another trophy here for Mono Blue.
And we talked about this, though, with no Mono Red players to carry on the Mono Red streak. Naya Hexproof was kind of taking that role, as kind of the dark horse candidate, sneaking into the top 8 and then just going around picking on black decks and kind of just doing his thing. Taking advantage of a world with no Sphinx's Revelations.
Gross a very quick mulligan here. Did not like the hand that he saw. Again, he will be on the play. Hunsaker's going to take a look at his hand. Couple of lands. Mizzy and Moore's hiding out over there. See if he finds something that he likes. And said, I will keep. Robert will wait pretty patiently. It sounds like Mitch was telling him about his hand and saying it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. So right now, Joe Lissette leading the Season 3 player race with 126 points. Didn't have a great tournament yesterday, but Alex Bertoncini is the one that's chasing him right now. Of course, Lissette is in attendance. He'll be playing Miracles today. We'll see if he's able to put another top 8 finish on his resume and expand his lead over Bertoncini and anybody else that's chasing him. But right now, it's kind of a 2-dog race between those two players for Season 3. But next week, we'll be on the East Coast. Can't tell you where just yet, of course, because that's the premium question. But we will be on the East Coast. Chances are we will see Alex and a bunch of other players that we're familiar with over there doing battle.
Pro tip, if you don't know the answer, www.google.com has some great resources available.
That website's still going?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
good for them.
If you're confused about where you can find it, if you go to Bing, you can Bing google.com and be linked directly there.
Yeah. Looks like another mulligan here for Mitch. Down to 5 he goes. At one of the worst times to do so. Now he has to hope that, 1, his hand is actually relatively good, and 2, hope that Hunsaker's isn't too great, even though Rob didn't take a lot of time before deciding to keep 7. He was pretty happy with this configuration. Don't forget, M15 coming out relatively soon, so things will change on that front. Our format here, we got M15 coming out in like 2 weeks. So this standard format, I don't want to say it's dead, but it'll certainly change with the addition of a lot of cards from M15.
Yeah, I mean, how dead can it be if we're seeing Naya Hexproof versus Mono Blue Devotion in the finals, right?
Black did very well this weekend with 3 from the top 8, but
Black always does really well.
Yeah.
Always bet on Black.
I think almost certainly the best deck. But that deck seems to have a pretty big target on its head, given what's in M15.
Yeah, there's like literally at least 10 cards and mechanics and themes that are like bent against it. The entire Avatar cycle is like so ridiculously anti-Thoughtseize Hero's Downfall. Spirit Bonds is a extremely anti-black card.
I cannot wait to see that card in action. That's my kind of magic
I was
card.
Gonna say, that seems like the type of card
that's my kind of card.
Get you away from all the red and get you back on white, you know?
That's my kind of card. But right now I'm stuck just playing Vintage, so.
Vintage?
Yeah, I love it.
Online?
Yes, I can't get enough.
What are you playing in Vintage?
Bug, Fish, or Storm. Drew Levin put me on the path of Storm, because there's an island for Gross, but no play. It does have Cyclonic Rift in his hand. Hunsaker is going to take 2 and simply pass the turn back, so feels like maybe a Selesnya Charm here for him.
Yeah.
There's a Dissolve, and there's a Skylash. Oh, you can't counter that.
Oh, wow.
And we saw Mitch actually play 3rd land and opt not to play Thassa with the idea of playing a Dissolve probably on a Selesnya Charm. That's not going to happen, and we might have a runaway here.
Well, he does get to dissolve the Madcap skills.
Yes, that's true.
So he's got that going
and
for him.
He has to do that. So Dissolve will allow Gross to scry. And we'll take a look here in just a moment. Looks like he's going to keep that on top. So now Hunsaker can attack. Gross is going to go down to 18. There's a Sacred Foundry before passing the turn back. So it's a tie game right now. There's an island off the top. This is a Master of Ways for just 1. So 2 and Elemental will be joining the party in just a moment as Hunsaker will untap.
What do you think about playing the Master Waves here instead of the Thassa?
I would have preferred the Thassa in that situation, just because I need Master Waves to do so much work in this game, and just getting a 2-1 off of it is not really going to do a lot, especially with an Unflinching Courage over there now.
Yeah, I mean, this is a real bad spot. Now, he does get to Thassa and Cyclonic Rift if he wants, but the problem is that Cyclonic Rift is such a short-term solution to Unflinching Courage.
There is Thassa. Cyclonic Rift is the last card. Hunsaker's going to untap here. 4/4 Lifelink Trampler.
Skylashers just rips the blue deck apart out of the hexproof deck, particularly obviously on the Mulda 5.
Yeah. See some observers there rooting Hunsaker on. There's an Ethereal Armor.
Yeah, things are just snowballing out of control.
This will be an attacker for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points of damage.
So little counterplay too. The first strike, the ensures that there's no way rapid hybridization tokens could ever block it. The trample makes sure that there's no possibility that it could even be chumped by rapid hybridization tokens. The Pro Blue, obviously the most important ability here.
There's Tower Archer. You saw the rift on the Unflinching Courage to make it so that Hunsaker doesn't really gain any more life in the short term. Gross taking a look at the top card with Thassa. It's going to need to be a really good one.
I mean, Mutavaults can block some amount of the time. What he really needs is some kind of counter magic for that Unflinching Courage just to start the comeback, so that he isn't continuing to get deeper and deeper and deeper into a hole.
This is 4 mana. This feels like it might be a master. All right. That'll be for 3, so some more elementals are coming. Not going to turn on Thassa yet. And the only good attack here is this one. So there's an attack for 2. This doesn't want to attack him. Actually, for 3, yeah. True. That actually makes the race a little more interesting because those are attacking for 3 and not for 2.
I mean, he's got 18 showing. If he can wake Thassa up.
All right. Here's this.
The problem is that he can't survive 2 hits of this.
Yeah.
He needs, frankly, he needs another Cyclonic Rift, but.
There's a Blade Cover Scout.
And it's so tough because he can't wake up Thassa and still progress his board at all.
Gross at 5, Hunsaker at 22.
Biden would be kind of funny. Because you can draw a land and a Cyclonic Rift, but I don't think that's where you really want to be. You get so many looks, though.
I mean, Gross kept that card. Biden actually would be pretty funny in this situation. You get to attack with basically everybody, and, you get a lot of triggers.
You even get to you attack with Thassa.
Yeah. You get to attack with everybody. You get a lot of triggers and hope to kind of runner off the perfect cards.
The problem is that there's not a lot of Cyclonic Rifts available.
There's 1 left.
Yeah, I mean, he's got... What else could he possibly... Yeah, I mean, he's only got just the 1 Cyclonic Rift as an out. Because, Mutavault can't stop the trample here.
So Thassa's going to make Master Waves unblockable. So this is going to be an attack for 3, 6, 9, 10, 11 points of damage. We'll see if there will be any blocking, and there won't be. And there's a Mutavault to do some blocking. This is a gift for Zova, and that is going to be extension of the hand. Robert Hunsaker is going to win this match, and he is your Star City Games Standard Open champion with Naya Hexproof here in Portland. Congratulations to him.
Yeah, well done.